Okay, this is for 85. So this is the blended learning Google Classroom. These are the things that you have to complete in CodeHS this week. And I'm just going to show you my progress here. I'm not too proud of it. I want to get better here, but this is, just being honest here. This is what I've done so far. And I did this. Now I gotta go back. I don't like the non-green circles. Doesn't it bother you? But anyway, we want to see green circles for everybody, everywhere. Okay? And so this week you are being graded on these two things. Intro to HTML and structure. But if you want to be like me and go on further, go for it, because then see that's great. You just go on as far as you can, and then as we go back to it, like next week when we do formatting text, if you already did formatting text, then you get to revisit it, and that gives your brain two events, and that means that you are likely to retain it and remember it longer than somebody who is doing it all in the same week. We want to give our brains time to do it at different points along the way. It's called spacing. So yeah, work ahead. That's the point. Okay, so let me get my annotation tool out of the way. Oh, they put it over here. So I'm making this video because we need to go over some code. The warm-up says write on your paper the HTML code for a web page that says, "Hello world, I am a CMIT tiger." So although it is kind of weird to like write code on a paper, that's what I put for the warm-up, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, as best we can. All right, so this is your direct instruction warm-up thing, as best as I can bring it. Now, I'm gonna have to use my my exercise thing because I'm still learning this myself. Okay, doc type HTML. Did I get it? Let's see. Doc type. Oh, that was close. There's no colon. So you got to be real specific with this stuff. It's not like math where you could just wing it. Just kidding. All right, so that goes at the top of the page. This tells our page the language, HTML5 in this case. And now we are going to write. Now, each HTML comes with a head. And we surround that with our angle brackets. And the closing tag has a little slashy there. And it also has a body. So we're going to make our body tag. Isn't that fun? All right, so it's just like a person. A page is like a person. Okay, and now we want to write. Oh, I didn't even say anything for the title, but of course we want to title the page, right? So I'm going to also give the directions. Create a my first web page. Okay, that says, there we go. Is that better? All right, so these are the directions that we're following. We have our HTML code, start a code there. And now we need to put a title. So notice I have a beginning and an end tag everywhere. And so I'm just going to say my first web page. Definitely got to capitalize in the title. So this is metadata. This is going to go up at the top, just like where it says untitled document. That is the title of this. But if I, all right, so there we go. And now this right here is the content. Hello world, I am a CMIT tiger. So obviously we want that to go in the body. And I am just gonna go like this. A little bit nicer. And something they said in the video, when you indent, so then you can see the content there. Okay, and we can put an extra space. It's not going to show up on the web page unless we put something like a break or something, a break tag. But I didn't say that in the directions, so we won't do that. Okay, so now we're going to put our text. Hello world, I am a CMIT tiger. So I could just copy and paste it, but guess what? It's not going to show up like that because we got to write the code. Okay, so the hello world will show up like that, but am is not going to show up italicized like that because we don't have an editor here. So I am, if we want that to be italics, then we have to surround it with an emphasis tag, which is EM. Did you know that? I am, now it'll show up in italics. And then CMIT Tiger, if we want that to be bold, who knows what we need to use. That tag is called the strong tag. All right, and then, so now if I copy and paste this code into C, see what happens. You ready? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Hello world, I am a CMIT tiger. Yay. All right, but the only thing is, I definitely didn't want it to be all in one line, did I? I wanted I am a CMIT tiger to be on the second line. So, what are we going to do? We're going to give up? No. We're going to put in a break tag. And we're going to copy that code. Copy the code, put it in our editor, run it again. Look at that. Sophia teaching tech. All right, so that's the warm up. Make sure that on your paper you have the same code that I have because it's the correct code. Okay. Now, let's talk about today's activities. Getting started with what is the web read question. So I have the organizer open. And the directions from last class were to post not just general things, although it's okay, you just posted general things because it might have been kind of confusing, okay? But it said with the last 10 minutes, okay, the exit ticket said post 3 questions from the getting started what is the web quiz, okay? So that is the getting started what is the web quiz, not just a general sentence about, technology. So I'm just going to go here. And so hopefully nobody's working on digital citizenship. We're going right down to getting started. What is the web? And again, I did complete more of this. I just did it in another account. Okay. So anyway, this quiz will help prepare you for Friday's assessment. There will be questions from these questions. I might rephrase them. I might just make them exactly. I don't know yet. Okay, but you need to know all 12 of these, and you need to know them well. So if you feel like, for example, you want to know more about protocol, network, e-commerce, or router, you want to know more about question 11, then you just take a screenshot of question 11 and you just put it, if you're a Rinzai and you want to know more about question 11, then you just put question 11 in the red section, okay? But as I'm looking, I see Samuel put this in the red section. It's not a question, but we'll put that up at the top and look at that. Nobody else put the questions there, which is, we do see a green question here. So that's good. Rinzai doesn't need help with it. Samuel's got question too, so that's good. You guys are feeling comfortable with that stuff. And everybody else, if you guys can just re-follow the directions, that would be great. Okay, so this is social media cleanup. We're not doing digital footprints, so we're going to skip that right now. Okay, so the red questions, just to review, those should be from the getting started, what is the web quiz. So I'm just going to say, please redo this during your independent time. So that on Wednesday, Thursday, we can make sure we talk about it. Because you guys are going to have a test next Friday. Hopefully, or next week. All right. So do that. HTML success criteria and technology notebook. So let's talk about success criteria. Okay. So I'm going to put it right here. When we talk about success criteria, these are statements that are framed as I can statements. And we are trying to capture everything that you need to be able to do in order to be successful on this topic, HTML, design. We're going to say introduction, like for this first web page. So for this warm-up, what is the first thing we needed to do? The first thing we needed to do was this thing, so what is that called? That's called I can define the language used in the HTML page. And then in parentheses, I like to, kind of put the answer sometimes. So that's, so then if you look at that and you say, yeah, I understand, I have to put doc type HTML at the top of the page, then you can say, yes, I can do that. And you know that you're on your way to being successful. I can create a head and a body section of an HTML page. So you see how I did that, right? I created the head and body tags. And then what did I do? Then I made the title. Do you remember that? I can create a title of a web page. So that what does that mean we have to do? In the head section, surrounded by title tags, create a title for your page. If you can say, yes, I can do that, that's good. That is important. Okay, then so I did. Then in the body section, I wrote all this. So, okay, so you know what? I forgot to surround it by. I didn't surround it by H. Well, in the video, they did the H1 tags, but we can see I didn't need to. I didn't need to make it. Actually, I'm not going to put in H1 because then everything is bold. So I don't want it to be H1. Okay, but at least I know about H1. So I can use heading tags in the body section. H1, H2, and on and on. Okay, I can create formatting in the body section. What do I mean there? Use EM and strong tags among other formatting tags, which are not in this example, right? So, but formatting, bold, underline, strike through, italics, all that stuff, those are just different HTML tags. So if you know all the tag labels, then you can do it. Just surround that portion of text with that tag, and it shows up like that, right? And then what else? What about this BR? That's a break. Yeah. I can use a break tag to create multiple lines in my lines of text on my web page. Okay? And then we're just going to surround this thing with a there. I mean, really, I want it to be underlined, but I just, since we're in coding class, instead of actually underlining it, I just surround it with underline tags, but that's what I want to do. Okay, so these are the success criteria for structuring a web page. Like the very beginning, like when you go to, one more time, don't worry, I'm almost done. When you go to the structuring HTML assignment on CodeHS, and you watch the video and you end up doing the exercise, my first HTML web page. Yeah. If you can say, yes, I can to all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these, then you know that you're going to be successful. Okay. So I'm going to put those right there. And hopefully I'm going to put the link to this video at the top so you'll see them being created. And now it's time for you guys to work with a partner. So last week we did independent work. This week, you can continue to work independently or at the teacher's discretion. If you want to work with the person next to you, it's okay. Just as long as you are in structuring an HTML web page and then keep going, formatting text after that. And if you get to links and you start putting the links, then you're going to pass me up. But don't worry, by the time I make the next video, boom, boom, all this stuff's going to be green. So, the race is on. Okay? So try to pass me up. If you do, that's great. And so work with a partner to get as far as you can on intro to HTML, structure to a web page, and on formatting text. And then if you finish, make sure that you post in the organizer a sample of your work, the code. So like everybody can just take and post your code, and you can make it a little different than exactly what's supposed to be. Make it say something different, and then just, if you're originate, then just post it in there and put my first web page code. But the most important thing is to put it in the color box that represents your comfortability on that subject. So if you did the code, but you're really like you need to learn it still, then put it in red. If you want to practice it, yellow. If you're good, don't need any more help from me, put it in green, and then explain in your own words how to do it. And if you use the success criteria to explain in your own words, you'll be good to go. Okay, so next steps, CodeHS, post in the organizer. See you guys next time.